I have a younger sister, and she's 11 years old. She's giving guys oral sex.
How many different boys?
6.
She's missing for weeks. You're the only person I can think of who can straighten out Lauren.
I promise you I'll do everything I can to straighten the situation out. Where is the emotion that these boys are abusing your little girl? I'm outraged. If I heard this, I would seriously go crazy. And I'd be rounding up 6 boys and taking them to their parents, and I'd be kicking some ass.
If you can't protect them, let them come with me.
I picked up on a little something. Jasmine, is he a good guy?
When I was 8 years old.
Welcome to the show. My first guest is Jasmine. Jasmine, you're 18 years old, and you wrote a very long email to the show. Why are you so upset?
Because I have a younger sister named Lauren, and she's 11 years old, and she's gone wild ever since we moved to Texas. She's giving guys oral sex. She's missing for weeks, and it's just terrible.
She's 11 years old.
She's 11 years old, and she's doing that. She has a bad reputation in the neighborhood.
How do you know this is happening?
Because I've had people tell me. My mom's gotten a letter. She's been called about a letter from school where Lauren told a guy that she wanted to make love to him on the table. Just lots of crazy stuff.
And how did your mom react to this?
My mom, honestly, she didn't make a big reaction. She's grounded Lauren, but it's not effective. She hasn't really done anything, and that's why I wrote to you, because I want you to straighten out my mom, but most of all, I just want my little sister back, because the thing that's so weird about it is that before we moved to Texas and she started doing all this stuff, she was sweet, she would share everything, and she never would have stolen anything from me. But now she's stealing, she's lying, and she's running off.
Does she admit to what she's doing? When you talk to her, does she admit that she does that to men or? Before, she would deny it, but ever since, people that she hangs out with have told me, she can't really hide anymore because the people in the neighborhood know about her. And I've had to ask around. I'm hearing, lots of stories, and she can't deny it. I know not everybody's going to lie on her. What stories are you hearing? A guy in our neighborhood told my mom that he caught Lauren in the pool giving another little boy oral sex. And when I heard about that, it just blew my mind because she's my little sister. And she would sneak out. If my mom said she couldn't go, she'd sneak out. So I knew it's not like a girlfriend. It's a guy involved somewhere. And then she started staying out for weeks. I didn't know where she was. And I would sit home and think, my little sister's dead. Someone's raping her. What happened at the McDonald's? At McDonald's, about a week and a half ago, I have a friend who told me that he had seen her at McDonald's. She was wearing stripper heels and short shorts and a halter dress, bent over at McDonald's, trying to, I guess, impress some guy that worked there. And that's disgusting. We're talking about a child, an 11-year-old girl. Stripper shoes, at McDonald's. She's giving oral sex to men. I can't picture that at 11 years old. And I know what happens because it happens on my show. I've heard this before. And I just think, what should an 11-year-old be doing, right? What were you doing at 11 years old? I wasn't thinking about any boys. I just Exactly. Right. Not even interested in boys, right? She said that she had stopped doing this about a month ago, but that's a lie because a week and a half ago when I was outside talking to my friends, I found out about the McDonald's incident. And he had said, just 4 days before that, he had to stop one of his friends who's a grown man in his 20s from doing something with her. She was going to do something with him, and he's a grown man. It just depresses me because these guys out here can rape little girls and kill them, and we wouldn't know, and we love her, and she wants to be with them. She doesn't know these people. What do you think happened that changed to make an 11-year-old to act like this? I know she started hanging out with some other nasty little girls. Why don't you put a stop to it? Why don't you just say, you're not hanging out here, you're coming home? I don't know what to do, and I feel like I shouldn't even have to do that. I'm not her mother, but the small efforts I have made, it's like nothing happens. You made a big effort. You called the show and you got your family here, so you made a big effort. Well, what's your sister's name?
Lauren.
Lauren. She's backstage. I'm going to go back and talk to her, and then I'll get back to you, okay?
Okay.
This is your 11-year-old daughter we're talking about. Some man, some boy is abusing your daughter. You know about it. If I found out somebody was doing something to my little girl, I'd be kicking that damn door in.
If you can't protect them, let them come with me.
I picked up on a little something. Jasmine, is he a good guy? I'm not gonna yell at you. I'm not gonna scream at you. I'm here to help. I don't want to see an 11-year-old girl make mistakes that serious bad things could happen to you. You know I used to be a policeman, right? Did you know that I was a policeman? Well, I was a policeman for 12 years here in Chicago. And I would see bad things happen to kids that were out on the streets when they shouldn't be, and when they hung out with the wrong people. And I hate to say this to an 11-year-old, but when you're hanging out with men that would even consider having sex with a child like yourself, they would do other things too. They might do things to hide the fact that they had sex with the 11-year-old child. And sometimes children that are out on the streets where they shouldn't be, they end up dead. How did this start? Did you have a boyfriend?
It started about a year ago. And I had a boyfriend, and he wanted me to have sex with him. But he kept pushing and pushing. I said no. So I had to do something to keep the relationship going.
No, you don't. You don't have to do that. You know what you do? You say, I'm 11 years old, I'm a child. I'm not going to do that. First of all, you shouldn't have a boyfriend when you're 11 years old. You know what? 11 years old, you should be playing with your friends. You should be doing your homework. You should be trying to do good in school. And you should be spending as much time as you can with Jasmine. You don't have boyfriends at 11 years old. I don't know why I should be telling you this. Your father should be telling you this. Your mother should be telling you this. You don't have boyfriends. If you were my daughter, no, you don't have a boyfriend when you're 11 years old. You're not going out hanging out. You're going to do good in school. You're going to stay home. You might not like it, but too bad. That's the way it is. You're a beautiful young girl, and I wouldn't want anything to happen to you. And when you run away, or you stay out for weeks at a time, or when you're with some grown man doing something you shouldn't be doing, believe me, someday some police officer is going to have tears in his eyes. And I don't mean to scare you. Yeah, I do mean to scare you. I want to scare you straight. I want to scare you so you do stay home. And your sister out there, she's going to be crying. And she's going to think, I tried to do everything I could. When you disappear for a week at a time, what do?
I go to the park with my friends, or sometimes I'll go in the house, watch TV, or draw. Maybe some days I would have oral sex with boys.
How many different boys are we talking about here?
6.
Six. How old are these boys?
15 and younger.
15 years or younger?
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to protect all of them? Are some older than 15? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
You never been with anybody older than 15? And all 6 of these guys, they're all your boyfriends?
Yes.
Does your mother know that you did this? Did you tell her that you did this?
Yes.
And what was her reaction to this?
She was mad and sad.
She was mad. What exactly did she do to you?
Told me to stay in the house.
But you didn't do it, right?
No.
You told your mom you had sex with 6 different guys, right?
Yes.
How mad was she?
Real mad?
Real mad? Did she give you any consequences? Like, if you ever do this again, this is what's going to happen?
Yes.
What'd she say to you?
She's gonna be whooping.
She's going to give you a whooping.
Yes.
And did that stop you?
It stopped me for a while.
But it didn't stop you altogether, did it? You went back out and you were doing it again?
Yeah.
Every father's watching this, and their stomachs are just like mine right now. Like that. I am sick hearing this story. Hearing that you're being abused by this, and you're letting yourself, you're going out, and you're putting yourself in that position. What you're doing with these boys, why are you doing that?
Because I like them.
If I heard this, I would seriously go crazy. And I'd be rounding up 6 boys and taking them to their parents, and I'd be kicking some ass.
I picked up on a little something.
And you seem concerned when you asked your mom, are you going to get back together with Joe? You seem very reluctant about that. And why is that?
Come on. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you and your family. Do you want me to help you, Lauren?
Yes.
So then you got to tell me the truth. Just like you have to tell your parents the truth. Just like every child should tell their parents the truth. To get you out of a bad situation, you got to know the truth. And I want to know why you're doing that. Why are you doing that? It doesn't make you happy. I think it makes you very sad. So what is the problem here? What are we going to do to make you stop doing this? What's going to keep you in the house? What's going to keep you get you on the right track of going to school, of hanging out with your girlfriends and good girls, not girls that are getting involved with guys and doing this. I want to know what it's going to take to straighten Lauren out, to get back to the Lauren from a year ago. What's it going to take?
Happy family.
What's that?
Happy family.
A happy family?
Yeah.
You want a happy family? Your parents are split up? Now, I'm going to tell you this, Lauren. I can't make your parents love each other and be together, and I don't know why they separated. All I know is what the situation you're in. But you know what? You have a family. You have a family. And obviously your mom, to some level, has told you, she's grounded you. She's told you to stop. She obviously was very upset when she heard about this. Your sister obviously cares about you very much. She loves you. So there aren't people in this world that care about you.
Life is tough sometimes for families. But you know what? You got to have pride in yourself. You got to have integrity. And you have to say, first of all, I'm a child and I'm going to be a child. And no man is ever going to abuse me. And you can say that even at 11 years old. I am never going to let any man abuse me. Say, I'm not going to let men abuse me.
I'm not gonna let men use me.
I'm not going to let men abuse me.
I'm not gonna let men use me.
Do you mean it?
Yeah.
I hope so. Because remember, Lauren, I want you to make me proud. I really do. I want you to go back and I want you to straighten up. I want you to stay home. I want you to do what 11-year-olds do. You go to McDonald's with your friends, you dress like you're dressed now. And you don't try to impress boys. Remember, there's no boyfriends here. The boyfriends stop. Because you know what? Jasmine calls me again, I'll come. Where do you live?
In Texas.
In Texas. And all those boys watching the show, and I'm telling you right now, you go back to Texas and you go back to that routine, I'm coming to Texas. I'm coming to Texas, and I'm going to have a little roundup. I'm going to round up all them 15-year-old boys, and I will march every one of them to their parents, and with you, and you'll explain to each and every one of them what they're doing to you. Don't make me come to Texas. Not for the wrong reasons. I'm going to let you sit back here. I'm going to go on stage. I'm going to talk to your mother, and I'm going to find out why you're so unhappy, okay? But tell me, look at me, Lauren, and tell me you're not going to do it again. Promise me.
I'm not going to do it again.
You promise?
Promise.
Come on.
And what would you have done?
I would have came to Texas. I would have knocked down some damn doors. I would have put my damn foot down. What the hell are you talking about what I would have done?
Is he a good guy, Joe? Did you watch on monitor? How do you feel about what I talked to your sister about?
I'm so glad you talked to her, but I really don't feel like she was serious enough about it. Like, this is serious, and I really want to stop forever. I don't want to ever have to call you again, like you said. And I don't feel like she took it serious enough.
I agree with you, because when I asked your sister to promise me, it took her almost a minute to think about it. Like, she's looking at me like, you're crazy, I'm going back and I'm going to do it, Steve. I mean, I thought that's what was going on in her mind. I'm trying to be nice to your sister. I got to remember that she's an 11-year-old girl. I have to treat her differently than I treat adults. So you say part of the problem is your mom, right?
Yes.
Would you like to be out here? Would you like to talk to your mom and find out, to confront your mom about this?
Yeah.
You got to stand up and you got to be strong about it then, okay?
Yes.
So when she comes out, you stand up and you confront her. Here's your mom, Yvonne.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, baby.
You know I love you. And it's going to hurt when I say this, but I have to tell you, this been going on with Lauren has been going on for a long time. And I just feel like you haven't done enough. You've grounded her, but she doesn't listen to you. And you as a mom, you have to really crack down on her because this is serious.
I know.
Yeah, because if she ends up dead, I'm going to feel guilty. And if I feel this way, imagine how you're going to feel, Mom. And I don't ever want to lose her.
Right.
And I love you so much. That's why I called Steve. Because Lauren isn't the only one that, needs help. You need help, too, because you're a single
Right.
mom and you work a lot.
Yeah.
And Lauren she's a big problem, what she's doing. So I want him to also help you so you can start enforcing more rules for her. I don't want her to do this anymore because it's scaring me, and I'm tired of worrying about her.
I appreciate you. Thank you, baby.
Mom, why your daughter comes to you and she tells you that she's having sex with boys?
No. She's never come to me and told me she was having sex with any boys.
This is the first time you found out about it?
This is the first time just now of me hearing it.
Jasmine, did you ever tell your mom that she was doing this?
My mom knows about the oral sex. I didn't even know Lauren said she was having sex with boys. I thought she was still a virgin.
But you knew she was having oral sex?
Yeah.
Did you ever tell your mom about it?
I learned from the rental office that Lauren was in the pool with another little boy humping.
And you told me.
And I addressed that the best way I could. I did talk to her.
And what was the best way that you addressed it?
I did talk to her. I didn't spank her. I did talk to her.
Okay, you did hear that your 11-year-old girl was giving oral sex to a boy in a pool.
No.
So she's lying?
We discussed that.
I heard she had an interaction with a little boy. That was enough.
Mom, see, you know what? I'm starting to get mad with you.
Why are you getting mad at me?
Because you're not being a good mother. That's why. Life would be just so simple if people would just tell the truth. And what you're doing is you're being evasive. Well, I was told this, but I wasn't told that.
I don't recall being told that.
Don't make me out to be the bad person. I'm the best mother I can be.
Well, it's not good enough.
Well, that's why we're here.
Right.
We're here for a purpose.
That's right. But you know what?
Lauren
and I want to
needs help,
Mom,
and I need to help
You know
her.
what? And I want to help you.
And that's what I want.
But then cut the BS out. Don't
What
say you didn't
BS?
hear the story when you heard the story.
This is I didn't even get the story from her. I got the story from the rental office saying that my daughter was involved
Your
with a little boy
daughter's standing there right now
humping in
saying
the
she
pool.
told you. Is
We
your
discussed
daughter a
Did not
liar?
tell me that.
We discussed. She was having oral sex in the pool. We discussed that before you heard about the note from Lauren's teacher.
So then there's 2 incidents.
Yes.
So now you know of 2 incidents.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you're really being the best mom you can be? Is she a liar?
No, she's not
Okay,
lying.
she's not lying. So there's 2 separate incidents
Incidents.
that you know about.
Yeah.
So first it was
And there's
none.
more than that.
Then we get up to 1. Now we're up to 2. Can we get up to 6?
I don't want to get up to 6.
You're up to 6, baby. You know about it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Were you listening backstage?
Yes, I was.
Did you see your daughter talking about how she sleeps with men?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to the root of the problem, Mom.
Right.
Why is your daughter going out and sleeping with all these guys? Why is she performing sex with these men, with these boys? When you heard about these 2 incidences, why didn't you find out who they were and march your ass over there and say, why is your boy doing that to my 11-year-old girl? Did you do that?
The little boy, she said, doesn't live on the property.
Who cares? I don't care if you have to get on an airplane to confront them. This is your 11-year-old daughter we're talking about.
Yes.
Some man, some boy is abusing your daughter. You know about it. If I found out somebody was doing something to my little girl, I'd be kicking that damn door in. Jasmine, is he a good guy?
When I was 8 years old,
Here's what I got a problem with. You say, well, I didn't hear it from you. I didn't hear anything. Then I heard about it once. That was a separate incident. Now we're up to twice. But I do know what I do have. I have a mother that is sitting backstage, and you are watching the monitor, and you're hearing that your 11-year-old girl is admitting that she's going out and doing this to boys. And Mom, your reaction to come out here is, well, you know, you didn't tell me that, and what you just found out that your daughter did. Where is the outrage from you? Where is the emotion that these boys are abusing your little girl? You know you should be the Texas Ranger when you go home. You know that there's 6 incidents of 6 boys, 6 different boys that did something to your daughter.
Right.
You better be the Texas Ranger when you go home because you're her mother. You should be holding that roundup. You go find out who those 6 boys are. You round them up. Are you showing love to your daughter when you come home?
Yeah.
Seriously, Mom?
Yes.
Are you wrapping your arms around her, telling you love her?
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe. It doesn't seem like it bothers you too much.
Oh, yes, it bothers me a lot.
How did you feel when Lauren said, I said, what do you want? What can I give you to stop this? What can I give you to stop you from doing this? Did you hear what her answer was, Mom?
Yes.
What was it?
Family.
She wanted a happy family. So does that sound like she feels like she's getting any love? Like she's in a happy family? If I went back and talked to Lauren right now, would she say, yeah, my mom shows me a lot of love? She's out there because you're not showing her any love.
Now, that's what I need help with.
Mom, why do you need help with showing your daughter love?
Because I have to do everything. I'm the mother, I'm the father, I have to work every day. Nothing happens unless I do it.
Guess who's responsible?
That's who's responsible.
You.
Right.
You brought them into the world.
And I'm divided into 5 different children that I have. I have 6 children, but 5 at home. So I have to work. I work 12-hour shifts. When I come home, I have to make sure everything is okay, make sure they eat, make sure they have clothes. Everything is on me. So I need help.
You're not the only single mother out there.
There's
a lot of single mothers out there.
I didn't say I was.
You know,
I didn't say I was. I didn't say I do everything right.
I understand. You know what? I understand when you have 5 children and you're a single mother and you're working. Yeah. But you know what you got to do? Yeah, you got to work. You got to come home and fix their food and take care of them.
Right.
And you know what? Unless you find somebody like Jasmine that's willing to help, or you get your ex-husband back, or you get into a new relationship, guess whose shoulders it falls on? It falls on yours. And you know what? Maybe nobody's going to help you. I'm here to help get this girl to stop
doing what
she's doing, but I can't go in your house and make you give Lauren a hug. I'm not going to come over and do your laundry for you. I'm not going to come over and cook your dinners.
I don't expect
Because
that.
you know what? I take care of that in my house. Let's bring, this is your husband, your ex-husband.
We're separated,
You're
but
separated.
it's
He's
my
your husband.
Yeah.
Let's bring out your husband, Joe.
No, he's here.
Why am I here?
Because you're her
you
father.
here?
No, why am I here? Look at my eyes. What do you see? I
Hey,
haven't
whoa,
slept.
whoa. You're not going to talk to her that way. Because have you been doing anything?
Of course I've been doing something.
What have you been doing?
I've been trying to get in my child's life.
You've been trying to get in your
That's
child's
right,
life.
that's right.
Let me ask a question.
That's right,
Well, I'll
Steve.
ask you. Has he contributed anything to you for the past year?
No.
No.
Ask her why haven't I
Hold
contributed
on a second.
anything?
Hold on a second. This is your daughter we're talking about here. This is your daughter running the
That's right,
streets.
This is my daughter.
This is your
my
daughter going
You
out
damn-
having
you
oral
darn right,
sex
this is
with
my
6
daughter.
boys.
Yeah, well, I didn't
You
hear
haven't
about
been
that until
around.
just now.
Well, now you know.
That's right. Now
Now
I
you
know. Now I know,
Hey,
Steve.
and for a year, how can it happen for a year?
Because I didn't know where they was at. That's why.
You don't know where your family's at?
No, I don't.
Is that true?
That's true.
Why is that true?
Because when I left North Carolina, we traveled back and forth for a
You said
couple
you
of
need
months.
help. Why won't you give this
He
guy?
didn't want to see his children.
What do you mean I didn't want to see my children?
I called my grandma and told him, I'm getting ready to go back to Texas. I want you to, you want to see Lauren and Leah? You told him no. You told her no. You will never, ever
No, hold, wait a
them.
minute, wait a minute.
Did you
wait
say?
a minute.
Did you say?
Wait a minute. No, I did not say that.
Are you working?
You didn't
Yes,
say.
I am working.
Did you send her any money?
I don't know where she's at, Steve.
You don't know anywhere. Did you try to find out where she's
Yeah, I
at?
tried to find out. I sent emails to her email. My mother called her cell phone twice, but she told me she changed it. She told me she didn't want nothing to do with me. Of course.
Have you
Why
talked?
am I
to,
here?
Hold on a second. Have you talked to your father?
Here?
Why am I here?
That's
Look
what
at
I'm
my
doing.
eyes. Look at my eyes. I have not slept in almost 36 hours since I heard about it. I get a call from the syndicate telling me what's going on with my daughter. Instead of you calling me and telling me my mother's number hasn't changed in 30 years. Why am I here?
I could never count on you before. I don't even think when things happen.
And second of no. Don't
even
even
think
try to
about
divert
you.
this.
I
Don't
ain't
try
trying
to
to
divert
divert
this
nothing.
because you know the number to reach me. You know the number.
And what would you have done? What
I would have came to Texas. I would have knocked down some damn doors. I would have put my damn foot down. What the hell are you talking about what I would have done?
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
I've been trying to incorporate discipline in these children ever since I've been with you. And you tell me all I want to do is nurture them. My children need love. What they need is tough love. That's what the hell they need.
Well, there's your Texas Ranger right there.
I'm the bad guy, right?
Let me tell you something, Steve. Her job and her career comes first and foremost before the family. This is why I am not with her. Because she neglected me as well. And I don't want the children to be neglected. And if you can't protect them, then let them come with me and I'll hold them down.
the outrage that I see from you, that's what I want to see from a father who hears about their daughter, from the story we heard.
Steve,
That's what I want to see. But what I want to ask is,
hell and back.
you know what? You said you wanted help. He's saying he's here to help. Okay,
He's
hold on a
saying
second.
Let's
I wanna,
see him do it.
I wanna
Let's see him do it.
Let me have my
Mouth
daughters.
to say
Let
anything.
me have my daughters.
That's
Joe,
what
let me
his
ask you a
history
question.
shows. Your mouth to say anything is what
can
you
you be
do
quiet
with
for
parents.
1 second, Yvonne? You're telling me that you would do anything for your children.
Man, anything for my girls.
And you're a
man.
working man?
These are my best friends. These are my babies.
You're a working man?
Of course I am.
So if you're saying you didn't know where they lived, and you're saying
Steve,
that's true.
That's true.
Okay, so the man works. You're saying you didn't tell him where you're at. You're telling me, Steve, I need help. I can't do it all by myself. Here's a man that says, I want my girls. I want to protect them. I'll send you money, but I can't if I don't know where you're at.
She's out there now.
Yes, she's
it ain't
out there.
just because of me. It is not just because of me.
No, it's not. It's not her decision.
But it's what
not
we
your
got to
decision
do
that
now.
she's
If you're
going
going to
out.
help, it doesn't matter any animosity I have against you. It's what we got to do for Lauren.
Oh.
Your mouth to say anything.
Oh.
Let's see what you're going to do.
Okay.
Let's
All right.
see.
Well, let's see.
You got it now. The two of you better work it out and be adults.
Yeah,
and you
okay.
better stay in each other's lives.
If I know where I can reach them, of course, that's not a problem.
Jasmine, do you know Joe? You said he's not your father, but he's the father to your siblings.
Yeah.
Is he a good guy? And you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. We want the truth, right?
When he was there, I guess he did help my mom out.
So when he was living under the roof, he went to work, he brought food home.
I did not want y'all to get back together
Okay.
because we got back together and maybe that's what he did to me.
You just got to be able to talk so Lauren don't get in trouble, okay?
Yeah, but that wasn't even fair to me.
Hey, Joe?
What I wanted.
Joel, Yvonne, what I want to do is I want to ask you to leave the stage for a second. I want to talk to Jasmine alone, and then we'll bring you back out. All right? Come sit down, man. I picked up on a little something, and you seemed concerned when you asked your mom, are you going to get back together with Joe? You seemed very reluctant about that. Why is that?
Because she's gotten back with him before, and she didn't even ask me what I wanted. Because when I was 8 years old, he sexually abused me.
Yeah, the hits just keep on coming. Joe sexually abused you? Does your mom know about this?
Yeah, she knows.
And what happened with that? I mean, you told your mom, obviously?
I told her when I was like 10 or 11.
And what did your mom do about it?
She called the police.
She called the police? And what happened with that?
The police came, and I guess she talked to them. And I remember talking to a lady, but I didn't have to face him in court. And I know he went through some kind of treatment. But then she got back with him like 2 times after that. I'm scared that he's going to start drinking again, and I don't know what he's going to do. But I didn't like, having to live there with him, knowing that he was right beneath me when he had done that to me when I was 8. And yeah, he was a good dad and all, but a good dad don't do that.
There you go. What I'm going to ask it, and you don't have to answer it if you don't feel comfortable. What did Joe do to you?
Oral sex. He performed it on me.
Yeah, Joe came out here with all that, man. I'm going to have security. Jimmy, come here. I want you to escort her off stage. Let's bring out the guy who was going to be the Texas Ranger. You backstage?
Yeah, I was backstage.
You heard Jasmine?
Yeah, I heard what she said.
Is it true?
No, it's not.
I didn't do it.
Been investigated. It's an allegation that was made when she was 4 years old.
She's saying she was...
I was investigated.
Joe, she said she was 8 years old. She told her mom you were 10. Mom called the police, right?
Exactly, yes.
You went through some counseling?
No, I did not.
You didn't go through some counseling?
No, I was
so
investigated.
You know what's funny? We all saw it.
Uh-huh.
She got scared of you, Joe. She looked at her mom and said, "Are you going back with him?" What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
You did something. You did something.
What?
You did something that girl looked at her mom and was scared. And that's why we stopped. And that's why I asked you to leave the stage. Because when you see that fear and that reaction in that young girl, Mom, are you going back to him? Something happened.
You're a liar. You did that to me when I was little. Don't you dare sit up here and say that you didn't do that to me. I wouldn't even been the way I am now if you had never did that. So don't you dare say that you didn't do that. I would never lie about something like that.
Well, as far as I know, Jasmine, I didn't do anything to
You did.
you. made up this
You
allegation.
did. I would never make something like that up.
Then how come no few issues
Joe,
You did that to me when I was little.
I said I'm not going to sit here and fight with her.
Yeah, don't fight me because you're lying. You did that to me. Your supposedly daughter who you taking care of because my father wasn't in the picture at that time. You did that to me. Then you come out here saying, oh, if I was there, I would have kicked in doors. Oh, you did that to me when I was little. I was supposed to be your daughter who wasn't really related to you by blood, but you still did that to me. And you're taking care of me, and you're putting food on the table for me to eat, and you're helping me survive, but you still sexually abused me when I was younger. So don't you dare say, oh, she made that up, or just the allegations. You did that to me. I would never lie about something like that, ever.
All right. You know what, Steve?
No, don't talk to Steve. Talk to me.
She's
talk
in
to
charge.
me.
I'll talk to you. Hold up, I'll talk to you. During the time that you did that, all the witnesses, including your teacher, including family members, all said that Jasmine is very manipulative. You, since a very young girl, has always been manipulative and always played your mom against me. Always.
I was happy you guys were together until you decided to sexually abuse me. You took me in as your daughter. You love me, and I called you dad. I called you dad because my dad wasn't there, and you sexually abused me. So don't say I was manipulative. I was not. I'm not lying.
As far as I
don't
know,
you dare. No,
I've
shut
never
up.
touched
Shut up.
you.
Don't you say I was lying.
I never
I'm telling
in my life
the truth.
touched you.
You are a liar. You are a liar. You are a liar.
Since you was my shoe size, I would never touch a little child.
You willing to take a lie detector test about it?
Yes.
Are you willing to?
Yes, sir.
You're going to do a lie detector test? Joe, at this time when she was a young girl, were you an alcoholic?
Yes, sir, I was.
I'm going to ask you straight up, and I want a straight answer. Is it possible that you were so drunk that you don't remember doing this to her? That you got so drunk that you might have did it to her in a state of drunkenness?
That's possible, Steve.
You know what? There's no need for a lie detector test then. There's no need. If you're saying it's possible, and I'm looking at this girl, and I saw the fear when she thought that her mom was going to take you back, and you saying it's possible because you're drunk, because you know when you're real drunk, you do stupid things.
Well,
right?
If you didn't do it, then why when we driving in the car when my mom was with you to drop off at work, you was like, you asking me to forgive you, and I forgave you, but I never ever forgot. You did that to me.
I didn't ask you to forgive me.
Yes,
I
you
told
did.
You that I was,
yes, you did.
I said if I ever did anything to you to harm you, I was sorry.
Oh, you
I
know
never
you
asked
did
you to
it.
forgive
You
me.
know you did it.
No,
you know you did it.
By me coming back into the relationship with your
Joe,
mother.
let me say this. I'm looking into this beautiful woman's eyes, and I know you did something to her. You got drunk one night and you did something. You don't remember it. That's on you. The problem is she remembers it, and she has to live with it. And I don't even believe that you don't remember it. But you know what? You came to see your daughter, Lauren, right? Because you love her.
Exactly.
But you know what? You don't get to see your daughter on my dime when you're abusing a child yourself. Get off my stage. Get off. Let's go get Lauren. I thought Joe was going to come out here and be the man, but that's not going to be the case. I'm going to be the man. And if I have to come down there and you don't listen to your mom, and we're going to give you help, and we're going to give your sister help, and we're going to give your mom help. But if you don't start listening to her rules, I'm going to come down there and I'm going to be mad that I have to fly to Texas and straighten out an 11-year-old who's soon going to be 12. And that 12 should be smarter, right? Better wise up real quick. You better start listening to your mother, and you better start listening to Jasmine too. You understand? All right. Let's go. I just want to say, I'm telling you, I meet brave people every day, and you are a very brave young woman. But being brave to expose something about what happened to yourself, you're a very courageous young lady. You're here today because you want what?
To find out if my daughter is biologically mine.
And before the show today, you took a DNA test, and you also took a lie detector test, right?
I believe in my heart that's my daughter.
I told him there's a possible chance that she could not be yours.
I signed her original birth certificate.
So there's no way in the world
That's
that
not,
Richard's
no,
the father?
No.
She don't want children at all. She doesn't want to be a mom.
I do love my kids. And for him to sit there and say that I don't is a daggone lie.
She taped the pacifier to her mouth. She was a newborn. Because she wouldn't stop crying.
I didn't think
You
that was
thought enough
wrong.
that you wanted her to stop crying. I'll put a pacifier and tape her mouth shut. Please stand up.
I have reason to believe for her to cry like that, I want to know she's being touched.
You gonna sit there and tell all these people that I be touched? You know I ain't do that.
And I don't know if you're ever going to find a man that loves your daughter as much as Richard.
Trust me, I'm taking my daughter. You trust and believe that. I'm walking out of here today with my child.
The results of your DNA test is that Richard. Welcome to the show. My guest is Richard. Richard, you call the show.
Yes, sir.
Why are you here?
I called the show to find out if my child that I've been taking care of is biologically mine. My mother stated in a scheduled court hearing that we had that the child is not mine. And therefore, I would like to find out if she is mine or not.
Okay, so you're with this woman, and who is she to your girlfriend? Or?
She was ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend.
Yes, sir.
And how long were you with her?
For like a couple months.
Just a few months?
Yes, sir.
And she becomes pregnant?
Yes, sir.
She tells you she's pregnant?
Yes, sir.
You're happy about it?
Yes, sir.
Is this going to be your first child?
Yes, sir.
And she has the baby, and what does she have, a little girl?
Yes, sir.
At the time this is all going on, anything that she does or the baby, you look at the baby, nothing gives you a doubt that this is not your baby. You think this is my child.
I believe it's my child. I signed her original birth certificate.
Why did you guys break up?
Because she was immature. I realized that as time went on.
Well, what was she doing that immature that caused you to say, I better give it a second thought?
She had a child, like I said, which is a son, and therefore, like certain things she wouldn't do to me that a mother should do. Like she would spend the night at my house, and therefore I would like ask her questions like, why didn't you get up? You heard your son crying. Why didn't you get up and attend to him?
And how old was the other child at the time?
At the time, he was like a couple, I say like 6 months.
So you see she's not getting up. Her older child is crying. You're like, hey, why wouldn't you get up when your son's crying? Just gives you, and then your daughter comes along.
But I didn't know about this child being born.
But you had a clue that she was pregnant.
Yes, sir. I had a clue she was pregnant.
And all this time,
we talked about getting an abortion, and she stated to me that she was going to get the abortion.
Okay.
So that's the last impression that I had in my mind.
Right. So you didn't even think
that this child
She was going to carry the pregnancy.
Yes, sir.
She was going to terminate it. So when you find out now, you've broken up, you haven't seen her, you're kind of shocked that she went and had the baby.
Yes, sir.
When you find out from this person on the street, you have a baby, what's your reaction?
My reaction was, wow. The first thing I did was said, where is she at? I went right to the address she gave me, and I went to go see my daughter. And then from there, I intervened and tried to spend as much time as I could with her. Until she was 6 months old, my daughter was placed with a family member in Trinidad, Tobago.
And how long was your daughter over there?
For a year and a half, sir. And for a year and a half.
So you didn't get to see your baby for a year and a half?
No, sir.
Did you?
I called the embassy in Trinidad, Tobago, and trying to ask these people, like, could I fly over there to come see her? They're like, well, we don't have any documentation stating who you are. You're just an alleged father.
But you say your name was on the birth certificate.
I signed the original birth certificate. She stated to me that her wiped my name off the original birth certificate.
So it's got to be pretty hard on you for a year and a half. You don't get to see your child.
I didn't even get to see her grow up. You understand? Like, as far as being a baby, that's something that a father would want to be there for, to watch their child grow up. For my first child, I wanted to beat her, sir, but I wasn't able to beat her because of her.
Did she ever tell you she was going to do this?
No, sir.
Did she ever come to you and say, hey, my child's going to be taken away. Can you help me out?
No, sir.
So she didn't even give you a chance to say, here, why don't you take our daughter?
No, she didn't even give me the opportunity.
What happened to your daughter at the shelter?
At the shelter where she was standing at, the mom, she taped a pacifier to her mouth.
Your ex-girlfriend
She taped a pacifier to her mouth when she was a newborn because she wouldn't stop crying.
And is that why they were going to take
Yes, sir.
your baby? Okay. At some point now, the question is
she my child?
whether you're really the father. And why did all of a sudden she bring that issue up?
Because when we went to our last scheduled hearing, she stated to the court officials that I'm not the father and she was raped.
Did she, when you're dating her, right?
Yes,
you're
sir.
dating her when she becomes pregnant?
Yes, sir.
She ever mentioned to you, come home crying,
No,
hysterical, no signs of physical violence?
No.
Hey, by the way, Richard, I was raped today.
No.
What was your relationship with her? Name's Tennille.
Yes, sir. At first, we met at like a career link center, and therefore, like, that's how we established like a friendship. And at first, it was all right. But then as time went on, I realized as a person, like, she wasn't all the way there adequate as far as being responsible, taking care of children. And I want to say this to everybody, she does not want children.
But she had a son already.
Yes, sir, but she does not want to take care of children.
Now, I got to ask you, Richard, you seem like a nice guy, and you seem like you're a very caring guy. Why would you sleep with somebody who doesn't seem like they care about children? Why would you take a chance of bringing a child into the world with this woman?
I made a poor decision.
I didn't think.
You thought enough that you wanted her to stop crying. I'll put a pacifier and tape her mouth shut. Please stand up.
She proves that that's not your child. Trust me, I'm taking my daughter. You trust and believe that. I'm walking out of here today with my child.
And I don't know if you're ever going to find a man that loves your daughter as much as Richard. The results of your DNA test is that Richard and you broke up with her?
We went our separate ways.
Well, you don't wake up and go, I'm leaving. Had to be some discussion. Okay, I'm done with you. Nah, you're not the dad. Something had to be said.
She left.
She left?
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't break up with her. She took off on you. Did she tell you where she was going?
No.
So you didn't know. So now she comes back. You got the child. You say, bring her over here. I want to see my daughter. Must be very emotional. You haven't seen her in a year and a half. She leaves the baby with you? She takes off? What?
No. What happened was during Christmas Eve, the situation happened where I had got her son. And therefore I said to her, before I take your son, I said, don't you want to wake up and say Merry Christmas to him? No.
Why, she wanted to leave?
I don't know. She just didn't want him to be with her on Christmas Day. So when I took him, and it was dark outside, I brought him back to my resident. When we got back in the house, I looked at his face. I said, what happened to you? He said, I don't know. I asked him again. I said, what happened to you? He said, I don't know. So I got scared. The first thing I did, I called the caseworkers, Department of Human Services. I said, there's something wrong with this young man. He has 2 black eyes and an abrasion on his face. They come to my residence. They ask him a question. They say, what happened to you? He said, my mom hit me and pushed me into a dresser. She punched me in my face and pushed me into a dresser. And therefore, they take him from me because I'm not his biological father, but I want to adopt him.
Who'd they give the boy to?
He's in foster care right now. She doesn't even have him.
Before the show today, you took a DNA test.
Yes, sir.
And you also took a lie detector
Yes,
test, right? Because I guess she's alleging that you did things.
Yes,
or...
yes, sir.
You find out today's DNA test comes back. You find out you are the father. How do you feel?
I'm excited because I believe in my heart that that's my daughter.
You do believe she's your daughter?
I believe in my heart that that's my daughter.
And what if you find out the test comes back?
She's still my daughter.
She's still your daughter.
She's still my daughter.
Where's your daughter on the screen? Now, how old is your daughter now?
She's 2.
She's 2. Hey, nothing to be ashamed of. If I went through everything that you went through, I'd have tears in my eyes too. I mean, not to have your daughter for 1.5 years. How long have you had your daughter now?
Only a couple months, sir.
And has Tennille making an effort to see her?
No, because I stopped her visits.
Oh, you said...
Because she had supervised visits where they take her and she gets to see her in a facility. I stopped it because the first visit that my daughter went on, she disrespected me and she disrespected my daughter. She took her hair out. You see how her hair is done? It's professionally done. She took her hair out. I bought her a charm that said Daddy's Boo and had her name at the bottom. Understand? And therefore, we took pictures at Chuck E. Cheese. And she took them from her. And then when I asked the staff officials that dropped her off, the driver, I said, where's her stuff? Oh, we don't know. The mom must have did it.
So you saying Tennille stole your daughter's chain?
Yes, sir. She said her brother took it. How can a little boy take a necklace that's teeny, take it off her neck?
You're here today because you want what?
To find out if my daughter is biologically mine.
And you want to keep her, right?
Yes, sir.
Does Tennille want custody of her daughter?
She don't want children at all.
She doesn't have her son?
She doesn't have her son. She doesn't want kids, period. She doesn't even want to be a mom.
Well, why does she keep having kids?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, what I want to do, Richard, I'm going to ask you to leave the stage. I'm going to talk to Tennille. I'm going to give you a chance to come out and talk to her, okay?
I do love my kids. And for him to sit there and say that I don't is a daggone lie. Because if I didn't love my kids, I wouldn't be working so hard to get them back.
I have reason to believe for her to cry like that, I want to know she's being touched.
And you also took a lie detector
Yes, sir.
test, right? Takes the lie detector test, and it comes back. How you doing, Tennille?
I'm not good at all.
And why aren't you good?
Because I hate liars. I hate liars. I told him from when I got raped, oh, that's something that I'm embarrassed of. It's not something, oh, I got raped. Ha! That's not something you sit there and you tell the word.
Hold on a second. Did you tell Richard?
Yeah, no, I did not, because it's something that I was embarrassed of and it's something I was dealing with at the time. I told him there's a possible chance that she could not be yours before anything was brought up in court. I told him this. It's something I've been dealing with in therapy. You understand? When I did what I did to my daughter, but the whole pacifier thing is because I had 2 kids back to back. I had chronic depression.
Hold on a second. But you taped the pacifier?
Yes, I know I was wrong. I know that I was wrong.
Listen, wrong? How do you even...
I was dead wrong.
Okay, you were dead wrong. But how does a mother... I mean, really...
I was not even in a stable mind.
I don't care if you were in an unstable mind. How do you think that taking tape and covering a child's mouth, how in the hell is that any idea at all for a mother to think of? Tell me how you actually did it. That's what I want to know. How did you use duct tape? Did you use Scotch tape?
I don't even remember what kind of tape that I used because, like I said, I was unstable then.
And you taped the whole pacifier around the mouth?
No, it just across her mouth.
You put tape across the mouth with the pacifier in the mouth.
Yeah.
You think maybe I could choke my child to death by doing this?
I didn't think. That's the point. I didn't think. Like I said, I know that I was
You thought
wrong.
enough that you wanted her to stop crying. I'll put a pacifier and tape her mouth shut. So you taped this pacifier to your baby's mouth. What happened?
From there, I don't remember.
You don't remember anything?
No.
Did somebody come and say?
I remember the next morning or whenever it was a staff member at the shelter came in and she saw it. And she said that I'm going to have to call the Department of Human Services. And I was so messed up in my head that I just didn't care. But when
Did the baby sleep with the pacifier in her mouth all night long with the tape in her mouth? How long did she have it taped?
It was only for like maybe 2 hours.
And so you wake up, they find this horrific thing, they notify Children's Services, and your baby, they take your baby away from you.
My grandmother called me maybe within 5 hours after it happened. I did notify Richard. He sat there and was like, well, I don't know what to tell you.
You told them they're taking our baby away?
Yes, I did tell him that. He was like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, what do you mean? You run around telling the whole world that that's your daughter, but you can't go down there and get her? You can't go down there and take her?
You know what? I'm trying. I'm listening to the story, and I'm really trying. I try to keep my emotions in check, but you taped the pacifier in a baby's mouth. Please stand your ass up. So let me get this straight. You're seeing Richard, right? You guys are dating?
We were.
You were dating, and you have another child before this?
Yes.
And Richard says, not really a good mother. Didn't really care about his son. Let him cry in the night, didn't get up.
That's a lie.
So you say you're a good mother?
I am a good mother because in my phone is all pictures, videos, times that I sat there and played with my children.
Pictures and videos of your child doesn't make you a good mother.
No, hold up. Now, if I'm not a good mom, I wouldn't make sure that my kids come before me. It had days that I was looking a mess. Hair not done, the clothes that I had on was just dirty, but my kids looked good. My kids ate every day. I made sure that my kids was very well taken care of. Even for Christmas. Like, I bought my daughter that brand new dollhouse that just came out. I bought my son a little bike. That's what they asked for, and I got it for him. I could tell you the day that my daughter got her first tooth. I could tell you the day she crawled. I could tell you the day she walked. I could tell you everything that I need to know about my child. I know her favorite color. I know what makes her smile. I love my daughter to death, even if she is a rape baby. I love her to death. Anything that my son wanted, I got it for him. I never wore name brand a day in my life, but my kids wore it. I do love my kids. And for him to sit there and say that I don't, is a daggone lie. Because if I didn't love my kids, I wouldn't be working so hard to get them back.
So when he cried in the night, you did get up and go to
I
him?
got up every night.
Every time?
Losing my mind, don't know what to do because I'm a new mom with 2 kids.
Tennille, let me ask you a question. If you were this young woman and you felt overwhelmed when you had a son, why would you turn around not even a year later and have another baby?
I have reason to believe for her to cry like that, I want to know she's being touched. She proves that that's not your child. Trust me, I'm taking my daughter. You trust and believe that. I'm walking out of here today with my child.
The results of your DNA test is that Richard So there's no way in the world
That's
that
not,
Richard's
no,
the father.
No.
Did you ever afterwards tell Richard, you know what, I need to tell you something. You keep thinking you're the father. I got to tell you something.
And every time I tried to, he would always cut me off. It had days where he came up there to see her. He would bring another female to the shelter. He would bring all his little guy friends. I'm like, I'm not going to just tell you all of this in front of your friends. I was like, we need to sit down and talk. we need to sit down because it's something that I need to tell you. It had times where I'm calling him on the phone, he's not answering his phone. It had times he didn't even have minutes on his phone.
So you could never spit out, you never had a chance, hey, this child is not yours. I was physically assaulted. I was raped. It's not your baby.
When I did tell him that was when I was in Philadelphia and he was already in Pittsburgh.
And who has your child now?
He does.
Why?
Because I tried to establish a good relationship in case he was the father, because I told him I wanted a paternity test to be sure. And I wanted to, let's say he is the father. I want them to get to know each other. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. Because if he is, if it comes back and he is, then hell yeah, I want them to have a good relationship.
I just, you stand on stage and again, I don't know what your thought process is, but you say, I love my baby even though it's a rape baby. Wouldn't you at least grasp or hold on to the fact that Richard could be the father instead of saying, I love my baby even though it's a rape baby? It is the possibility. You said yourself that he could be the father.
He could be.
Now,
but the reason why I look at it,
I don't know why.
The reason why I look at it as she could be a rape baby.
Okay, hold on a second. I understand because you said what happened to you. But here's a guy who comes out, seems very likable guy. I mean,
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
That's just for you. That's just for you.
Maybe it's just for me. But I don't know. When he looked at your daughter, I don't think he faked those tears. Could be wrong. I just want to say, I don't think he faked those tears. He seems genuine.
He does love her.
He does love her.
He does have I know he does love her.
He does have
but
your daughter.
But me, he hates me. He hates me.
It happens.
Okay? And you know what? Fine, hate me. You have the right to. You understand? I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to. He has the right to.
If you taped the pacifier in my daughter's mouth, I'd hate you too.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You have the right to. But that does not give you the right to sit there and hit my son. Give my daughter weed or my son. One of the two.
I understand people, you don't like him, he doesn't like you, and you want to throw dirt on him, and you're saying he wants to throw dirt on you. But
I'm not throwing dirt, I'm just speaking the truth.
You're not speaking the truth. And, you know, you come out here and you're this strong, proud woman, and you do everything for your kids, and you keep it together, and you can buy presents, and they look good, and I don't buy brand-name clothes, and my kids do, and they look good, and, you know, all the that doesn't even matter. You know, the only thing that matters is your kids love you, they feel protected, they feel that you're going to be there for them. I don't know how feel protected when mommy's taping tape to your face. And you know what I'm saying is, I understand you got a tough life. You say you were physically assaulted by some guy, that that it could be a rape baby and everything. But I don't get it. When you have a man that says, you say he loves his child, he wants to be the father, he wrote his name on the birth certificate. For you, for your child, for everybody's interest, wouldn't it be best just to say, yep, you're the father, Richard. Why would you ever enter in the possibility for a child to know you're a rape baby? Here's a man that's willing to be where so many times the men don't even want to be in a damn child's life. Here you have a guy saying, my daughter, I love her, I'll do anything for her. Child gets taken away for a year. He's still there. He's not running, man. He's hunting it down. He wants the child. I understand you have another accusation against Richard?
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
Well, when I did see my daughter the day that he said that I disrespected him and took her necklace and whatever else he sent her with.
Right.
Actually, if I did take the necklace, I would have it. I took the necklace and put it around her brother's neck because the day that her brother seen her, which was in like 2 months, the both of them was highly upset. My daughter, I sat there, was trying to do her hair, and she would not stop crying. When I kept saying, baby girl, what's wrong? She stood up on me, put her hands out like this, and said, he hit me. Who? Richard. Why? Because I pee-peed on myself. I'm like, excuse me?
Okay, but
no, but you can see the scars
necklace,
on
though. You took the necklace and you put it on your son. Why'd you do that?
Because he asked for it, and she wanted him to have it. He was like, she said, Mommy, I want brother to have this.
At what point do you be the adult and say, no, your dad bought that for you. He'll be upset. You're 2 years old. First of all, I don't believe a 2-year-old's talking like that.
Okay. You are entitled to what you want to believe. You are entitled to what you want to believe. But I'm going to tell you this.
I'm only telling you what I believe as a man, as a father, as dealing with children. And I think everybody saw on screens. I don't think your daughter came in and said, oh, I'm crying, and he hit me, I peed on myself. Here, give my chain to my brother.
First of all, she said that to me. Her brother said, Mommy, I want something to keep to remember my sister since I can't be with my sister. And I was like, okay, well why don't you...
While you're on the way to a foster home, here's a chain.
No, I said, okay, why don't you take the pictures that the staff member told me that Richard sent for him? I said, why don't you take the pictures? She said, Mommy, give him this.
I don't believe it.
You're entitled to what you want to believe. Put it like this. My kids have never been separated this long. And because of him, they are separated this long.
It's his fault.
Yeah, he's the one that gave my son the black eye.
He's the one.
He told
the guy that you just said about 10 minutes ago, he's a real good father. He takes really good care of her.
He takes care of her.
But because the boy...
Because that's not his child, you give my son a black eye, you hit him in the face with a stick.
Because it's not his child.
It's not his child.
But so the daughter could not be his child, too, and you're saying he knows that.
Okay,
how come he doesn't
knows that, but
her?
he loves her more than he loves him.
Why?
I don't know. Ask him that.
Did you ever touch your daughter in an inappropriate manner? He answered no. Takes the lie detector test, and it comes back.
Trust me, I'm taking my daughter. You trust and believe that. I'm walking out of here today with my child.
The results of your DNA test is that Richard...
Tomorrow.
I could feel the hurt coming out of you.
I think my husband's cheating on me. I got the little girl on the phone, and she told me I'm 16. They had sex in my house. You're hurting me. You're killing me inside.
I can't imagine my life without you.
Did you realize you are about to lose me? For years you've been lying to me.
Before the show, he took a lie detector test, and the results is that...
Tomorrow.
You say that Richard gave your son the black eyes, right?
Yes.
Okay. He comes home. Richard says, your little boy, who he's taking care of, right? He takes him home.
This is what happened.
No, just answer the question.
Yeah, he did.
So you let this guy who you thought gave your son black eyes, you sent him home. You sent your son home.
Well, when he left, he didn't have a black eye.
Okay. So Richard, notices the black eyes, takes him to a caseworker, says that his mother, your son, says, you hit him in the eye and you pushed him into his dresser. That's what your son's saying. And your son stated he feels scared when he is with his mother. He was taken to an emergency room and was evaluated.
Well, when I go on a visit, it's something totally different. My son enjoyed every visit with me. The last couple visits, I even bought food. I mean, I bought him food, I bought him a movie.
That's wonderful.
You mean?
Children do tend to eat.
I mean, I bought him food and I bought him a movie. Me and him sat there, had a good time. He was riding me up and down like a horse on top of my back, climbing all over me like he always does. My son is very playful.
Sounds like my weekend with my children.
You
I
understand?
Bought them food,
and from birth, my son slept next to me.
And they crawled all over me. And in the process, my son didn't get 2 black eyes. What else are you claiming about Richard?
Now, I have reason to believe for her to cry like that for hours, I want to know she's being touched. Point blank, period. She was with me and cried for hours.
But your solution was just to give the chain to your son. To make everybody stop crying.
No.
That's what you said.
I said she wanted him to have it, and he wanted it. Everything happened when that visit happened, that was the first time I seen my daughter in 2 months. 2 months.
And why is that?
Because he refused to even let me see her.
How did he refuse you?
When I asked him, he was like, no. He had
You don't seem like the type of woman that just takes no real easily.
I don't.
When's the last time you saw your daughter?
I haven't seen my daughter, and the last time I seen my daughter was at that visit. That was about 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay. You have any evidence at all that Richard abuses your daughter? And other than this one visit where she cried?
She had a bruise on her leg, Steve. They saw it. The CYF people saw it. They took her to the hospital.
Did you take her to the hospital?
Yes, they took her to the hospital.
Do you have that report? Did you bring that report with you?
No, they didn't give me a copy of that report yet.
What if Richard passes a lie detector test on all these allegations? What if he passes?
If he passes, he passes.
If he passes, he passes. You're making all these allegations against him.
If he passes, then I'll have to look into a deeper reason why my daughter's upset. Why is my daughter always crying? Why is my daughter sitting there telling me that he hits her when he doesn't?
Maybe I'll give you one reason why maybe your daughter's crying, because she's being shuffled off to person. Maybe she cries because one of the few things she has in this life, a little chain that her dad gave her, you took away. You gave it to somebody else.
That was before I even took the chain.
The point is,
you know
what? You're asking why, and I'm giving you reasons why.
Okay, I understand.
You can't give me one good reason why. Now, what if it comes back, Richard, he took a DNA test before the show. What if it comes back that he is the biological father of this child?
If he is, then I will try to get joint custody. We both have custody of her, so we both get to see her. She proves that that's not your child. Trust me, I'm taking my daughter. You trust and believe that. I'm walking out of here today with my child.
The results of your DNA test is that Richard Let's bring out Richard. Richard, I'm sure you've been backstage and been listening to a lot of this. Is there anything at all you want to address off the top of your head?
Now, you gonna sit there and tell all these people that I be touching, that I put black guys on. Come on, man, cut that short. You know I ain't do that. You just sitting there and tell everybody in the world that I be raping her, that I be having sex with her. Come on, man, that's just foul, cuz. Real talk. You know I'm not sleeping with her. What I'm gonna do is sleep with a 2-year-old? What I look like?
Richard said you never touched her.
All right, come on, cuz. I never touched sexually, cuz. What's wrong with you? You said that I put the black eyes on your son?
Yes, my son
I put the black eyes. Well, that's why you don't got him right now. That's why he in foster care, because they know you did it.
First of all, I didn't do it.
So why don't you have him?
Because you got him to say that I did it.
So I told a 3-year-old boy to say your mom put the black eyes on you.
Maybe he was high.
That don't even sound right.
Now, we did give Richard a lie detector test, and he was asked, did you ever touch your daughter in an inappropriate manner for your own sexual gratification? He answered no. Did you ever hit your daughter with excessive force? And you answered no. And he takes the lie detector test, he answers the question, and it comes back that Richard's told the truth. You just found out he passes a lie detector test. He didn't sexually abuse your daughter. He doesn't physically abuse your daughter. And no, I've been accusing you of this. I've been telling everybody, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've been saying that about you. That ever cross your mind? We're just here to pin blame, make stories up, wild accusations. No apology to the man?
I apologize.
It ain't genuine, though. It's good.
Only you can accept it. Anything else you want to say to each other before I read these DNA results?
No, sir.
No.
And your feelings aren't going to change whatsoever towards your daughter.
Child, man.
And you want to raise this little
Yep,
girl.
to the best of my ability, and I'm going to request to adopt your son.
You're not gonna get him.
We'll see in
I'll
court.
make sure of that. And if she proves that
But
that's
you know,
not
let
your
me.
child,
Hey, Tina,
I'm taking my
I
child.
want to ask you a simple question.
You can't.
If he wanted to raise your son and raise your daughter, and if you're not able
I've
to or
always
capable,
been there. I was always
you're not
been there for
always
my-
there for your children. You're
When
not.
when I had my kids, I always made sure that they were okay. I
But you
love
don't
my children
always
to
have your
death.
kids.
I love my children to death.
I don't doubt that for 1 second. But
You understand?
You're not always there.
I was the one that almost died giving birth to my son. I was the one that gave birth to her early. If she proves that that's not your child, trust me, I'm taking my daughter.
take her. I'm gonna
You
take
trust
daughter.
and believe that. I'm walking out of here today with my child.
We're gonna call court.
I'm not going to debate whether you say you were raped. I say I believe you. No reason to lie about that. And it's got to be horrific what you went through. Nobody's debating that. We're going to say you're telling the truth. I believe you 100% on that. But as you say yourself, it's possible that he could be the biological father, right?
Yes.
Now, I want to ask you, in your heart, your feeling, you know your daughter, you pick her up, you love your daughter to death. Who do you believe is the father of your daughter? In your heart, who do you believe is the father?
Man, that raped me.
All right. Are you opposed? Do you wish that Richard's not the father?
Yeah, I do.
Why? You would rather have the
Because
man that did this to
I'm
you?
not gonna have my daughter with a man that's not her father.
You hold this little girl, and I know it doesn't make a difference to you. It's your daughter. And hey, man, I give you all the gratitude in the world for taking care of a little girl. But in your heart, you must have a feeling whether she is your biological daughter, right?
Yes, sir.
And how do you feel?
Like, from when I first seen her, that she's mine.
You know that she's yours. Even if it comes back that he's not the biological father, you wouldn't want Richard raising that child. Sometimes, and I don't know the results of this test, but sometimes you got to rise above it all. When it comes to your children, you got to get past the pettiness. You have to get past the personal feelings for each other. You really do have to rise above it all for your child. And really, if you have this man who shows such great emotion, that is there for your child. He's there. He's loving. He's saying, I don't care if this baby's mine or not. I love this child. I want to raise him. He's actually there. Wouldn't you say, yeah, I want my child, but you know what? I'm going to do my daughter the best thing I can and say, yeah, that's your father. He wants to be daddy. He's a good guy. Let him be daddy.
If he wanted to be daddy, he would have.
He is. He's got her. When he goes home, he has her. He's being daddy. Are you sure you want me to read these results?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
You want me to read them?
Yes.
What about you? The results of your DNA test is that, Richard, you are not the father. Stay here. Does it really matter?
No, it don't, man. She's still my daughter.
I know, man. And I know that's got to be hard. I know it's got to be hard. But think about that little girl. All she knows is you. All she knows is you. There's no other faces. You're daddy. You got to be tough, man. I know it hurts, but you can't let it make a difference. You can't let it make a difference.
Have a seat. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna talk to Tennille, all right? You calm down, all right? You calm down. I'm gonna go talk to her, all right? You know, this is a TV show. And when this show's over, everybody's going to go on their lives. Gas, people watching at home, you, Richard. But I'm telling you something right now. This is a man that loves your daughter. And I don't know if you're ever going to find a man that loves your daughter as much as Richard. And you're lucky to be in a position where things are tough for you.
No, I already know. But it's like, I needed to know.
I know you need to know.
I needed to know.
And you know what?
And you know what? It hurts even more. Two wrongs do not make a right. So for you to just stop me and my entire family from seeing my child, it's wrong. It has nights that I go to sleep crying because from day one, my kids slept in the bed with me. Yeah, I know who was wrong, but you know what? I'm attached to both of my children. Those are all I have. When I lost them the first time, it damn near killed me. And I'm not going to lose them again, not to anybody.
Listen to me. Honestly, I want what's best for your daughter.
I want what's best for her, too.
I'm sure you do. And I think Richard does. So all three of us are agreed that we want what's best for your daughter. So what if we get you some counseling? We give you parenting classes. We give Richard parenting classes. Let's, from this point on, let's not say he did this, I did that. Let's say, what can I do to be better for my child? Do you agree to that? You want to go back and talk to Richard? No, listen.
I'm not going to be hard because I know he's hurting. He's been
you just
hurting
tell
for
Richard,
a while.
right, and let's work together for your daughter, all right?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Can you find your heart to forgive me?
No, man. You know how I feel right now, man, because I believe that was my first child, God. Tennille, you...
Richard, it's your daughter. It is your daughter. And she's saying she's sorry. And she's saying she'll work forward to do what's best for your daughter. And I'm not saying you have to accept her apology, or I know you went through a lot, but I think right now, you gotta do what's best for your daughter. And if she's extending an olive branch here to make the peace with you, and she's agreed to go for parenting classes and get you counseling and give you parenting classes too, because we could all use it, right? Do you guys agree to that? All right, let's go.
I'm here today to confront my son's biological father. Patrick has never been a part of his life. My son's 10 years old. 4 years he spent battling cancer when we found out he had the cancer. At that point, he bailed. He's been in remission for 5 years. Just the pain that he went through is unreal. He had such high doses of chemotherapy. Even the lining of his mouth and his throat completely melted away. At 5 years old, he felt like he was going to die.
I'd like to pick that chair up with you in it and throw it against the wall.
Where's your fight for your son?
Well, I've had hard times in my life.
Have you battled cancer in the last 9 years?
No, sir, I haven't.
You've had it tough? How about your little boy who almost lost his life twice?
That little boy right there, you bailed on him, Patrick. Look at those pictures. You should be crying, Patrick! I'm not perfect, but my butt was next to that little boy.
If you would have told me when it was.
Loving him. Hey, it ain't my job to make you dad. It ain't my job.
You're not his father. I am.
I was never given a chance to be the father.
Okay, look at this picture here. That's him with your little boy.
As soon as he gets off the stage and away from me, he starts throwing things and beating things up. Where's this fire when you can't see your son? You want to be back there pushing Chicago police officers, but you won't go over and knock on your own son's door.
Welcome to the show. My guest is Colleen. And Colleen, why are you here today?
I'm here today to confront my son's biological father. My son's 10 years old, and out of those 10 years, 4 years he spent battling cancer, a very rare form of cancer. All the while, Patrick has never been a part of his life. We actually split up whenever Dalton was like 5 months old. I had come home and seen my son in a car seat in front of the TV with the chest belt near his throat, screaming and crying, while his father slept like 3 feet away on the couch. So that day I said, I'm done. This is it. There is absolutely no way I'm gonna stay with you. Even though my son was not his highest priority, he would call or vaguely see him every now and again until my son turned 14 months old when we found out he had the cancer. At that point, he bailed. He was out. He didn't want to have nothing to do with him. He knew that, of course, that, you know, Dalton was very sick. We ended up, actually, my son had surgery, and whenever he had a surgery, his body had rejected the dissolvable stitches and got a severe infection in his groin. He was rushed from Springfield to St. Louis by ambulance because he was so sick, and when we got there, Patrick showed up, but he went on a little field trip, you know, while my son laid sick in a hospital bed, very ill. He went to see the Arch, he went to the Hard Rock Cafe. He had a really good time, you know. I'm sure all this time never even crossed his mind that his child was this sick. Of course, I confronted him about it, and he tells me he had never seen this stuff before. That's why he did it.
He went and it was like a tourist and went on a little sightseeing tour.
Right, absolutely. He sure did. After that, we got the infection cleared up, and we came home, and Dalton was doing all right, but then he relapsed again with the cancer. He actually relapsed twice, and on the second time, he was 2 years old, starting chemotherapy. And to be a 2-year-old and going through chemotherapy, it was very difficult for him. Of course, during this time, there was no Patrick, you know, no calls, no letters, nothing. It was like July of 2000, my son got very sick. He got strep pneumonia right after a chemotherapy treatment. And his blood pressure was dropping. The doctors were telling us that he may not even make it through the night. I felt obligated as a mother that Patrick needed to know what was going on with him, because if something did happen,
well, it's his
I
son.
wanted him
It's
to
his son.
know. Exactly. So I called him, let him know what was going on. I told him how important this was for him to know. I mean, my son's blood pressure had gotten cleared down.
This is your son here?
That is him, yes. That's when we were in St. Louis when he had the infection, when Patrick went on his field trip. I was trying to express to him how the doctors are telling us that he may not make it through the night. This is serious. This is not play or pretend. He said, okay, I'm gonna call back. I wanna check on him. I wanna see how he's doing. At the time, he was living in California. We didn't hear again from him for 3 months. So this jerk lived 3 months without even knowing whether or not his son was alive. Of course, at that point, after he finished up his chemotherapy, we thought he was in remission, thought he was going to be all right. 2 years went by. After that 2 years, I did allow him a few times. My son did karate, and I would allow him to see him, but not have conversations with him, because I was so afraid that he was going to develop a relationship with this person, whether he knew it was his father or not, and then he was just going to bail out on him again. And he's been through so much. He did not deserve that hurt anymore.
And he's 10 years old now?
He's almost 11. He'll be 11 in March.
And is your son okay now?
He is not. He's been in remission now for 5 years. Thank you.
Thank God. I gotta admit, I'm this is probably the first time I'm emotional right now. I'm a little choked up because
This story's a little too familiar for me because I have somebody in my family, the young boy, that has cancer, and I know how it tears somebody up. And to hear a story like this where a parent doesn't care for their child, is not there for their child, I have to scratch my head and say, what kind of human being this is?
Not.
Listen to the story is when the doctor's telling you, your son might not make it through the night. It's got to be horrendous for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I could cry now. He's been in remission for 5 years, but just the pain that he went through is unreal. I mean, when he had a stem cell transplant, they took him as close to death as you could get. He had such high doses of chemotherapy. Even the lining of his mouth and his throat completely melted away. That's how bad it was. At 5 years old, he told one of my family members that time in the hospital when he was at his worst that he felt like he was going to die. And for a 5-year-old little boy to even be able to imagine or think what it feels like to die, I mean, that tells me how much pain and hurt he was in.
I usually just tell people, get the hell out of my chair. I'd like to pick that chair up with you in it and throw it against the wall.
You're here, you want to push your way around through everything, you're mad? Where's this fire when you can't see your son?
So what do you want to happen today?
You know what? He's done. I gave him one option. I told him this is your last warning back in 05. I said, you know what? Yes, I allowed him to see him. I allowed the whole conversation. Let him get to know him. I thought maybe if he got to know him and knew his favorite color or anything about him, maybe he would reevaluate himself and want to be a part of his life. So I did that. I let him see him. And at that point I said, this is it. If you bail again, I'm done. I'm through with you. He bailed. He's out. So you know what? What good is he? He's absolutely
And he wasn't there for your son.
No.
He's not there for you while you're going through this with your son.
Right. Yeah, but
just the biggest battle in your life, your son's life. And so he's not there for you. He's not there for his son. Is there any good excuse why not to be there for your child?
In my opinion, I think it's because he didn't want to have to deal with the medical bills. I think he just didn't want to deal with any of it.
Has he ever helped you pay these medical bills?
Oh, God, no. No, absolutely not.
These are all your son's medical bills.
Those are just the billing, yes.
That's just the billing.
Right, dollar amounts.
And I could peel one off, and he hasn't paid one.
Absolutely not. No, no. He paid his child support like off not. In fact, I think he worked well up to close to $7,000 or $8,000 behind in child support. He has paid since like last April. I don't know where that's going or where that's. I'm not on board with that just yet because I don't know what his full intentions are. There's been hearsay that he's taking me to court for visitation rights. He's freaking ridiculous. I hope that. I would laugh in his face.
So he's been coming in the picture recently and trying to be in his son's life?
No, absolutely not. He came in one time, and he didn't even really come in. All he did was worked a way to let my family members know that he wanted to get my son a Christmas present last Christmas. One gift in 10 years should make things right, right? Yeah, no.
Does your son know who his father is?
My son does not know that Patrick's his father. The man that I'm with today, for 10 years now, that's who my son's dad is. He stood by him in the hospitals. He's helped. I couldn't work. There was no way I could work because I would not leave that hospital. I was next to that bed with my boy every single time he was in that hospital. And he worked. He supported us. He took care of us so that I could be there with him.
So he's your son's father?
That's absolutely right. He sure is.
And this is a picture of your son now?
Yes, that's him now.
Well, he's a good-looking, healthy-looking boy, and I hope he stays that way.
Thank you very much.
What I'd like to do now is I'm going to ask you to leave the stage. I'm going to talk to Patrick, and at some point I'll bring you back up.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's bring out the father of Dalton, who Colleen says hasn't been in his life, hasn't been there for his son while he battled cancer. Let's bring Patrick out. I usually just tell people, get the hell out of my chair. I'd like to pick that chair up with you in it and throw it against the wall. So, until we find out if she was telling the truth, why don't you tell your story standing? Were you in your son's life?
I haven't been. No.
Why not?
She left me.
She left you?
Yeah. I don't know why.
You don't know why?
I don't know why.
Maybe it was because you had the baby strapped in a car seat watching TV while you were passed out?
Honestly, I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Not that, no.
So it could be true.
That part, yeah, it could be, but I don't remember doing that.
Why don't you remember?
I don't know, that's what, 10 years ago?
So? Were you under influence of drugs or alcohol when that happened?
No, sir.
So you were sober?
Yes, sir.
And you have no recollection of that at all?
No.
So
I don't remember leaving my son. I love my son.
You love your son?
Yes, I do. I mean, as much as she says I don't. You know,
Intensely, you love
I've
your son.
been there. I've been trying to get a hold of her. Been trying to be in
Have you been there? Have you actually physically been there?
Until he was a year old, yes.
So 9 years just clicked on by?
Well, I've had hard times in my life.
You've had hard times. You've had hard times.
Yeah.
Have you suffered cancer in the last 9 years? Did
Why
you
wouldn't
fight for
she
your
let
life?
me
I'm asking
there?
you a question. Have you battled cancer in the last 9 years?
No, sir, I haven't.
You've had it tough? You
Not as
want to
rough as
sit up here
Dalton.
and say you had it tough? How about your little boy who almost lost his life twice?
But I didn't make,
How did you have it tough?
Well, the reason why I moved to California, that was the whole reason why she's saying I left, that I don't care about him. No, I was homeless. I had nothing. I was living in a car that had no engine. The engine blew. Dead middle of winter.
Oh my God! Ooh, now I'm choked up again. I'm choked up again because your engine blew. You're in a car. That's your son. He was in the hospital bed. He was dying. What were you doing? Going to Hard Rock Cafe?
No, I went to the Hard Rock Cafe after he was in the
And you went to go see the Arch, right?
When he was in the recovery room.
Why? Let me ask you something. What would be the motivation of Colleen to lie and make up this story? What would be the motivation?
Why?
To get money out of you?
No, she gets money out of me.
Okay, so what's the motivation here? To get you in your son's
Make me
life?
look like a bad guy.
But some family member threatened you and, oh, I can't go by, see my son. Where's the fight in you, man? Where's the fight in wanting to see the child you brought into the world?
Patrick, look at those pictures. You should be crying! Crying, Patrick!
Now you want to start acting like a lunatic? Where's this passion when every day that goes by you don't see your son?
You know what? It blows my freaking mind. I've had it tough. And when I say, well, how did you have it tough? You would think the first thing you would say as a father, my son had cancer. My son had cancer.
What am I supposed to do when she won't?
Did you almost die twice by, from the chemotherapy you were receiving over the last years? Oh, that's right.
No,
you
sir,
didn't
I
have
didn't.
cancer.
And if she
Your
would have
throat
told me,
didn't melt away from the chemo like your son's did.
if she would have called me and told me when he's in the hospital, I would have been there. If she would have called me and told me, hey, why don't you come pick up your son?
So you had no idea.
Give me a phone number to even reach my son.
You had no idea.
No, she would never call me. I was not allowed to come by her house. I was
Why?
not.
Why?
Because her family. I was threatened by her family.
Oh my God! And you felt what? Scared?
Well, I mean, I'm 17 years old, and
so what? I'm asking you. Were you scared? So you didn't go see your son?
But why am I going to cause more problems for my son when he's already has cancer, has problems?
How much more problems can you cause? When he's lying in bed dying, how much problems can you cause your son?
I don't know.
I've been told that Colleen's
never moved since she's been with you.
So I'm supposed to go knock on her door?
Yeah,
and
you have a son. You're supposed to go knock on the door.
Let me finish.
Let me ask you something. Okay. Say you're in a park with your son, right? He's climbing the monkey bars or going down the swing or going down the slide swinging. And I come along and I grab your son. And I grab him and I take him. And I start taking him, walking away from him. What are you going to do?
Beat you down.
Beat me down. You're going to beat me down, which I would hope that you would do. I would hope you caved my head in for taking your son, some stranger. But some family member threatened you and, oh, I can't go by, see my son. Where's the fight in you, man? Where's the fight in wanting to see the child you brought into the world?
Yeah, maybe I should have done more, you know?
Where's your fight for your son? Somebody threatens you, you say, keep away from your son. Wouldn't your response be, I'm going to beat you down, just like you told me if I grabbed your son in the park? Wouldn't you beat them down?
Yeah.
Somebody threatened you, ever call the police, make a police report?
No.
Why not? You felt threatened. Somebody's keeping you from a son. Did you ever hire a lawyer and say, I want to get my son? I have a son.
I didn't have the money to hire a lawyer.
Didn't have the money?
No, I didn't even have the money to have a place to live.
Did you go to anybody and say, hey, can you help me get my son back?
I've tried helping.
With who?
I went to my mom. I've went to a few other people.
Jeez.
You know, my family's not the greatest in the world. You know, I've had it rough too.
And his family's not the greatest in the world.
No.
You can turn to your mom. Can he turn to his father?
No,
I've
always been here. I've always been here.
You've always been there.
Yes. I've told Colleen where I've been, what I'm doing.
So she has to make the effort.
She's never made the effort. She's never made the effort. She's never picked up the phone.
But you never made the effort either.
I don't have a phone number. I never had a phone number for her.
You don't have a phone number, but you know where you could find her? Next to your son in a hospital bed right there. That's where she was.
Okay, I was there then. No. I was there then. I didn't go out. Yes, I made wrong. Maybe.
You live 15 minutes away from her, right?
Yes.
You've lived there for the last 5 years. You live 15 minutes away from your son.
4 years ago, I sat down with Colleen at a buddy's house.
And how much time have you spent with your son in those last 5 years?
Probably an hour. But when I was there, I couldn't tell him who I was. I had to tell him my name was Jason because she's scared that her family would find out that I'm talking to him.
And since that meeting 5 years ago, any other trying?
I have no number to get a hold of her.
No number. You know where she lives.
Am I supposed to go over and get the cops and go to jail?
Yes!
Go to jail? What good am I going to do him sitting in jail? If she wants me in it, she wanted me in his life so bad, why would she take me out?
Hey, you know what? Why wouldn't you call the police and say, you know what? I want to go see my son. The woman I had the baby with, my son with, she lives right here.
I did call the cops. They asked me, do I have visitation order? I said no.
Is there anything saying that you can't see your son? Is there any legal document saying you cannot see your son?
No.
Okay, so if there's no legal document that says no judge told you stay away, there's no restraining order, there's no order of protection. You keep saying you tried. You haven't done a damn thing because you don't have a phone number.
The only thing I haven't done is go kick her door in. Am I supposed to go do that?
Is that the only way to see your son is to go kick the door in?
And then what, go to jail? I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so you don't want to go to jail, so you're not going to see your son.
No, I'll see my son. Why do I have to be a fight?
Will.
Why does it have to be a fight? Why can't she say, okay, you want to be a part?
If every father was like you, there'd be no fathers in this country. There'd be none. You had this little boy, and every day that goes by, you don't get that day back. You're here, you want to push your way around through everything, you're mad. Where's this fire when you can't see your son? I think it would be better if you said, sorry, son, I've been behind bars for the last 6 years. That would be a good excuse. Not one that would say,
why, because she chose to keep me out of his life?
Oh, jeez. Are you blaming her?
Yeah.
You're going to blame Colleen.
I'm not perfect. I should have done more. Maybe I should have went and kicked her door in and said, I want to see my son.
That's the only
called
solution,
the cops.
Kicking the door in.
Hey, no one's perfect.
So, again, you want to blame Colleen?
Well, it's not all my fault.
So
I have made attempts.
It's mostly her fault.
I would say yes, mostly hers. Except for, I didn't do the man thing and show up at her doorstep.
She hasn't run away. She hasn't moved to another state. She hasn't tried to
I went to
change
another
her
state
identity.
because I had a crisis in my life where I had nothing.
Oh, here we go. What was
nothing.
the crisis?
I was homeless. I had no
You
job.
were homeless.
I went out there to get on my feet and come
Why
back.
didn't you stay here and live with your mom?
But as soon as I got to California,
why didn't you
what did I
stay here
do?
and live with your mom?
Me and my mom were on good terms.
You couldn't get along with anybody, huh? Couldn't get along with Colleen, couldn't get along with your mom, family members threatened you, everybody.
No.
What were you doing that everybody hated you so
I
much?
have no clue.
You don't have any clue.
No.
But you do know that it's Colleen's fault that you haven't seen your son.
Because I've made attempts. I mean, yeah, granted, it's not, might be not the.
That's the only thing you
maybe
do
I
know.
didn't do the 100% right way and go the legal route and all that. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't understand. I didn't know what I could do.
Oh, God. And why are you here today?
I don't know. You guys called me.
So.
I'm here today to try to talk to my son or try to be in his life,
God.
but it seems like all I'm doing is getting dogged, man.
First of all,
I've made mistakes.
How am I dogging you?
I mean, I feel like I can't get a word out.
I'm letting you talk right now.
Every
I'm
time
just
I
asking a
talk,
question.
you cut right in.
Okay. For the next 60 seconds, I'm not going to say a word. Starting now.
It's not a joke. What do you want me to tell you? You know I'm sorry. I've made mistakes in the past, okay? Maybe I didn't do exactly everything to legally, go to the courts or call the cops to get my son. But I knew he was deathly sick. I wasn't trying to make more drama in his life with seeing me and Colleen fight and argue. That's the only reason why I've never gone over there. And, I mean, I don't know what to say. It should be, I feel like she made the choice for me not to be there. I never gave up on her and him. I was there. She's the one that left. And just like I said, tonight is the first time I've ever heard an excuse why she left. And I've asked her. I've sat down and tried to be the man and say, look, I want to build a relationship with my son. What do I have to do? She's like, well, we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. What else am I supposed to do? Just take him? No, I'll go to jail for kidnapping. I want her to be able to say, all right, I trust you enough to meet me at McDonald's and you could sit there for 15 minutes with him. That's fine. If that's what she's willing to give me to be with my son, to build a relationship to prove that I'm going to be there. If she'd give me a chance to be there, I would be there. I would have been there from the start. I would have never left. But I didn't leave Illinois to go to California because I didn't want to be with my son. That's not the case at all. I left because I had issues in my life that I had to go straighten out. And like I said, once I got there, I kept her and her family informed of where I was. As soon as I got there, I called, and her family told me, don't ever call here, don't ever come by here again. You're not going to be a part of Dalton's life. Which I tried. I've tried talking to her. I didn't want to make a big scene out of it.
2 minutes.
That's the longest I've got to talk since I've been on the show.
And during that 2 minutes, you didn't say anything. I'm dogging you, you're dogging me.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
How am I dogging you?
Because you won't answer a question intelligently, honestly. You're wasting my time. That's what you're doing. There is nothing to you. Nothing. How does it... You're the invisible man. No answers, not there, just the invisible man. How are you going to kick down a door? How are you going to kick down a door? With what? You're invisible, man. There's nothing to you. You don't have a leg to kick down a door. And I think to kick down a door, you might need these. And let's bring out the evil woman that caused all of this. One of the worst people I've ever had on my show, Colleen. You're going to be crying someday that you let your whole life go by and you were never, ever in your son's life. You want to be back there pushing Chicago police officers, but you won't go over and knock on your own son's door.
Obviously, you didn't think this was going to be another damn field trip. Patrick, look at those pictures. You should be crying. Crying, Patrick! Look at him! Look at him! Why can't you do that? You're showing up right now. You don't give a damn. What is your problem?
I do care.
All these lies. Oh, I don't have a phone number. Okay. Well, you sure know about him, right? You were told all about him. This is how you stay up to date, right? This is how you know about his cancer. This is how you know about that. Then you need to find out my phone number. You don't wait 11 years. How?
I've tried. I've even asked you personally. You wouldn't give it to me. Why? You're scared
Scared
of everybody else finding out that we're talking. We have something to do with that. I have something to do with Dalton.
First off, let me go with this, okay? That little boy right there, okay? You bailed on him. You bailed on him.
You left me. You're the one that left me when he was 3 months old.
It's a good thing I did.
I just found out reason why you left. I mean,
okay,
well, I'm not denying and saying that might have happened. I don't remember that. I'm sorry, I don't remember that. But that might have happened. But you could have talked to me. You could have worked. We could have tried to work things out.
What did I tell you? I said, this is it. I'm not playing your games no more. I'm not here to play house with you. He has a heart. He has feelings. And we're not going to play these games.
But how many times have I tried to talk to you, say, Colleen, let me be in his
When was
life?
the last time?
Let me. What, 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Boy, that's.
I mean, you could. I mean, what am I?
And when was that? That was during that little meeting when I told you and that family, I said, this is it. I will let you see him.
But you didn't give me no chance. You let me see him once. You let me see him one time, and I said, well, when can I see him again? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know?
Well, let's see what you can put forward first, buddy.
Why didn't you give me the chance back then? Yeah, for a while there, I wasn't paying child support. I'm not saying I was perfect. I made mistakes.
Oh, God.
I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect
But you
mom.
kept me out of his life ever since he was a year old. You would not let me see him.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh.
I tried to give you chances to bring him. You could bring him to my mom's house.
Where's your emotion? Do you see him? This is when he got an infection, and we thought his cancer had spread through his entire body, okay? You should be looking at this picture right now. This kills me. This breaks my heart, because you know what? 6 rounds of standard dose chemotherapy, 7 rounds of high dose chemotherapy, and a stem cell transplant, and I ain't perfect. Let me be the first to tell you, I'm not perfect, but my butt was next to that little boy, hugging him,
you would have told me when it was,
loving him.
If you would have told me where it was, I would have been there. Or gave me a number to where I could reach you, I would have been there. You never. No, I do not have anyone.
Number, right? You have told me countless occasions, Patrick, countless. I want to be dad. I want to be in his life. I want to take care of him.
And do you give me that chance?
I have.
No, when?
When?
Go to a karate practice and tell him my name is Jason? If you were planning on letting me see him further on, then maybe, okay, you could say that.
And you knew at that point that I wasn't. That's why I was
Obviously.
doing it. Okay, so don't
Obviously,
listen to your
there's a
dad.
reason why you're
His
telling
name's
me.
Patrick, say bye because you'll see him in 2 years.
No, if you would have let me be in his life, I would have never left.
I know, it's my
I would have been there every weekend or whenever you wanted me to get him.
Well, you know what? Here's all I got to say, okay? This little boy is my world, okay? He's not going to be hurt. We're not playing these games anymore. So really all you're doing right now is throwing a few bucks towards our house. You're not seeing him, you're not calling him, you're not sending nothing. So what is the point?
But you won't let me.
What is the point?
What'll happen if I come by your house, Colleen? What will happen?
I couldn't tell
you,
Patrick.
Tell the truth. Tell the honest truth. What would happen?
You'd probably get your ass beat.
Okay, but let's say, I can understand you saying that now, but even then, even if I came by then, the same thing would have happened every time I come by your house.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Buddy, because
you
told them, you're telling me you were up into his life until he was a year old.
Yes, and I.
Which just so happened to be roughly around the time that we found out he had cancer. That's when you bailed.
How am I supposed to support my son living in a car?
Let me think for a minute that's somehow, somewhere okay for you to just diss out on your kid.
I didn't bail anyway, and as soon as I got to California, I called you guys and told you, gave you my address, my phone number, where I was so I could get a hold of you.
It ain't my job to make you dad. It ain't my job.
But you took that part away from me. Yes, you did.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Because I didn't want to stay with you? That's
you never
why I
let
took
me
it away?
see him. You never let me see him.
I did. I think we've established a couple occasions here that I've let you see him.
Okay, a very few times when you wanted to go mess around with your little boyfriend that you had at the time. I've tried to be in his life. I tried, Colleen, but you've never let me. Every time I tried to be there.
You have tried.
I've called you.
You know what?
And if you called me, I
one
thought you didn't have my
excuse
phone
you used
number.
is that you were 17, you were young and dumb, right?
Yes, sir.
And how old were you at the time when he was 17?
18.
I turned 17, or I turned 18 2 weeks after Dalton was born.
Okay, so you both were 17 when you were hooking up, and okay, so you were young and dumb, and she was young and dumb. How come you get to use the excuse and she doesn't?
He took him and would not let me see him. I tried to see him. I called.
Again,
I was by there.
you know what? I don't want to keep hearing. She wouldn't let me see him.
What else am I supposed to do?
She didn't call the cops on you. She didn't get a restraining order.
If I would have been there.
She didn't call it. She didn't get a restraining order. She never went to go get a judgment against you saying you couldn't see your son. These are things women do when they really don't want you to see their kid.
If I
she didn't do
If I would have gone by there, she would have called the cops. If I would have been by there, she would have got a restraining.
Could have, should have. You're living in fantasy land, and she's living in reality.
I would have
She's
been there
there
if she would have
every
let me.
day for her son.
And I would have been there if she would have let me.
Now you want to start acting like a lunatic? Where's this passion when every day that goes by you don't see your son?
Have you ever said to this woman, you know what? I was messed up. I couldn't even support myself. I had to live in a car.
Yes.
Thank you for taking care of my son all these years.
Yes, actually I did.
When?
4 years ago. When we sat down and had a conversation, I said, look, I know I'm not perfect.
Did you ever tell the man that's going to work, spending money on your son, spending money to make sure your son's okay, he's actually there? You ever say thanks to him? Hey, thanks for taking care of my little boy?
I've never had a chance to come face to face with him.
Well, now you do.
I mean,
Let's bring out Leo.
You're not his father. I am.
You might be who he calls dad, but biologically I am.
No, you're just a sperm
Is
donor.
that what you wanted to tell him?
No.
I think he knows
appreciate
he's
what
not
he's
the
done.
father.
I appreciate you being there. For her giving you the choice to be there. She would have left that choice alone, I would still be there. She's the one that chose to leave me. Okay?
No, that
and
boy
every
would
chance.
be worse off if he was in his life.
Oh, okay. So you know.
Yes,
you don't
I
know,
know.
me. All you know is what she's told you.
And what
I
he's
don't know
seen the
you.
last 11 years.
Yeah, you don't know me.
I haven't brought him over to your house.
No.
Your mom hasn't
When?
came to my job to pick him up.
When?
Have you ever met his mom?
Yes.
Okay. Has his mom ever met you?
Yes.
Have you ever given your son to his mother?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever met this guy before?
Unfortunately.
How many times?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 times.
Down at
You've
Cardinal
been
Glen
in his son's life almost the entire time his son's been alive.
Correct.
You've been there when he's been battling this cancer.
Correct.
Who's paying the bills while she's there with her son battling this cancer?
I'd go to work and then come to the hospital and sometimes give her relief so she can go get cleaned up.
But did she ever once call me when he
Shut
was
up.
at the hospital?
Yes,
no.
I did.
Shut up.
No, you didn't,
did.
Colleen. No,
Hey.
you didn't. You're lying, man. It's bull.
She's lying.
Yes, she is
You know
lying.
what? If she's lying, her lies are better than you
Well,
telling
then
the truth.
obviously she's a sweet walker, huh?
Sweet Walker? Why can't you remember anything?
What do you mean, remember anything? He never came to my
Do I
house.
need to break it down to you again? Why can't you remember anything?
What do you want me to remember?
Why you and your mom were having problems? Why you broke up with her? Why you don't remember ever seeing
Why
this
me and
man?
my mom having problems? Because I
Now
was
you
making
remember?
stupid choices.
What were the stupid choices?
Things I don't want to say right here.
Like drugs, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe? Would that be a good reason why she broke up with you if you were doing drugs?
If it was, she was doing them right with me.
Oh, that you remember now. Now your memory's what, clearing up?
Well, I'm not going to put all my family business out on public television.
Jeez. Just some of it.
Well, I didn't choose to be here.
Look at this picture here. That's him with your little boy.
Yeah. Because he was given the chance to be
Does that bother you at all?
Yes, it does. But what can I do about it? I've been trying to be in his life. She won't let me. I mean, I know you don't want to hear that, and I'm sorry, but I don't know what else to say.
Listen to me. You had this chance. You had this little boy, and every day that goes by, you don't get that day back. It doesn't. You're not cashing in anything. You're not like a little investment where it's going to be there at the end. No. You have to make the investment now, every day when your son's a little boy. You put that dollar in the bank. You be there. You could say that I'm reaming you, dogging you, doing all these crazy things up on this stage. But really, the only thing that's really happening in life is you denying yourself to be a father to your little boy. That's the only thing that's happening. Yes. You know what? You can sit up here and you can say whatever you want.
Don't matter what I say. Obviously, it's going to...
No, it doesn't matter. Because when you leave the stage, you're going to say, I had a son, and he's not in my life. No matter what the reason is, no matter what the excuse is, no matter who did what, you'll know what you did or what you didn't do, the effort you didn't make. And you're going to be disgusted with yourself. You're going to be crying someday that you let your whole life go by and you were never, ever in your son's life. That's going to be the thing that dogs you the most. Goodbye. He's mad now. I hear a commotion back there. He's showing emotion. Should I go back there and actually see the emotion? He had a... He had an hour out on my stage to show emotion. He didn't show one shred for his son, for anything that he's done. Never showed emotion. As soon as he gets off the stage and away from me, he starts throwing things and beating things up. And you know, what did you hit? A chair? No, let him be fired up. Let him punch whatever he wants to punch. Let him go.
Excuse me.
No, you go back out this way. You can't go this way. It's a fire hazard.
That's the way I came in.
No, you'll go this way. You'll go this way. You'll go this way.
You look like a dog on TV.
A dog? You've done it yourself.
I've been there.
Where's this fire bid for the last time? You're going to come back here and start punching things now?
I didn't come back.
Oh, really? Now you're a tough guy. You're going to start pushing people around, huh? Now you're a tough guy. Where's this fire seeing your son? You want to be back there pushing Chicago police officers now? But you won't go over and knock on your own son's door. But you'll be pushing cops around here.
Like I said, I'm sorry. I've never made the...
Sorry, you don't have to apologize to me. You need to say that to your son. You need to say... You don't have to apologize to me.
Are you my son?
You need to say it to your son.
And I will.
Oh, you will.
If they give me that chance, if they would
give you the chance. You're here. You want to push your way around through everything. You're mad. Where's this fire when you can't see your son?
It's there, but what am I supposed to do? Just
what are you supposed to say that you're doing now? This isn't. It's not as important as your son. My show. What the hell you give a damn about my show? Now you want to start acting like a lunatic. Where's this passion when every day that goes by you don't see your son?
You know it hurts. But
it hurts. It hurts your son. Doesn't hurt you. If it was hurting, if it was in your way,
how do you know it
you
don't
get
hurt me?
so mad, you go over there. You wouldn't be scared. You're not scared to come on TV. You're not scared to come on my stage. You're not scared to tell your whole story. But you're scared to go over and see your son.
No, I just don't want to cause drama.
You don't want to cause drama.
Now, why can't she just be like, all right?
Why can't she?
Why couldn't
Keep
she?
pointing the finger. Keep pointing the finger. The finger is pointing. You know what? The finger's pointed. I gave you a chance. I gave you an hour, and you didn't show nothing. You don't have a good excuse. And again, I'm not wasting any more time.
I told you I made mistakes.
You made mistakes, and you're still making them.
Well,
5-year mistake, not seeing your son. 5 years. That's more than a mistake.
She made that.
You're pathetic. Go live with yourself.
I will.
That right there is the definition of gutless. Gutless. I want to thank you. Like you said, nobody's perfect, nobody. But you know what? You're there for your son, and that's what it's about. And you know what? You're a better man because he's not your son, but he is your son. And you love him, and you take care of him, and you took care of him all this time. Thank you. That's a good guy here.